Hey, I'm Mark Romanack. Today we're up at Lake Nipigon in northwest Ontario. We're going after toothy critters called northern pike. Stick around. I got a feeling it's going to be a good day.
Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, your leader in trolling technology. Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, your leader in trolling technology. Jay's Sporting Goods, trust in the tradition. Yakima Bait, home of the rooster tail. Cisco Fishing Systems, fish the finest. Northwest Ontario Tourism Association, there's no place like this. Starcraft Marine, America's oldest aluminum fishing boat line. Evinrude Outboards, introducing the all-new Evinrude E-Tech G2, the outboard of the future, available today. Maxima Fishing Lines, the right line every time. Also, these fine sponsors.
There's a hookup. Got him. Whoa, baby. Let's see what we got here. I haven't been able to get a good look at him. No, not that big a fish.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy. Just a little guy, but a start. Just a little one. Got some slime on the hands. All right. Well, actually, Bryan and I are both throwing the same soft plastic bait, but we've got it rigged differently. I've just got a Bait Rigs Esox Cobra jig head on here, and I've just rigged it right through the nose. The hook is exposed, and I'm having a little bit of problem in that I'm catching a lot of grass, but the hookup ratio on this is very, very good. So all I'm doing is a slow roll on this, just moving it through the water and letting the articulation of the body doing its thing. And we'll let Bryan talk about what he's doing, but basically it's the same body, but he's got a different head configuration on it that allows it to have more of a swimming motion, and it's articulating that swimming motion even more. But these soft foreplay bodies like this, right now, they seem to be dynamite.
Well, as Mark was saying, we're casting these foreplay minnows, and the way he's doing it is with a jig head. I'm using it with the skull cap is what it's called. And what this is, you have a pin through the back here that holds the plastic body in place. This lip onto it gives it just incredible action. It is very, very impressive, the action this lure has. But they're working really good so far. We're gonna go out and see if we can't tear up some more. That bait. Man, is that thing good looking. Just the swimming action on those things are just awesome. Just awesome. I gotta say, I'm the first one that was skeptical of them. First time I saw them come in the store, I looked at them and thought, man, here's another one. These things work.
Oh, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Now he's coming towards me. Ooh, listen to that drag sizzle. You know, the basic setup here for pike is bait casting gear, and I really recommend you go heavy. And I've got a rod on here that was designed for swim baits, and it's made by Okuma. It's a pretty heavy action, but you need it to target these bigger fish. You definitely need it. Oh, that is so much fun. Nice though.
Yep, very solid fish.
He T-boned that Savage gear bait. Look at that, it's sideways in his mouth. I love it. I love it. That is a beautiful picture right there.
Yes,
He's got
it
that
is.
soft foreplay right down his throat.
It's hanging right out. Oh, you ain't ready yet.
Whoa, baby. Whoa, baby. Now, Brian's a smart one. He's got fish handling gloves on.
You bet. There's no sense in getting your fingers all cut up on these fish.
Sweet.
Look at that. Nice fish, Mark.
Pretty darn nice.
Nice
That's
job.
pretty darn nice. Pike are big and ugly and toothy, but they're delicate. You really have to get them back in the water quick. They can't take a lot of abuse, and that's the reason you want to hand land them just like Bryan did. All right there, puppy. And away he goes, just as perfect gets. All right. I think we're on a few fish. I love it. Woo. Well, our annual Lake Nipigon trip is kind of bittersweet. We ended up with near perfect weather, which is always a good deal because Lake Nipigon is so big, if the wind blows, it's pretty near impossible to fish. So we had calm conditions, which is good. But unfortunately for us, our fishing wasn't as good as we've experienced in the past, and we actually kind of struggled. And part of it was because we tried some new waters, and part of it was just plain bad luck. You know, fishing's fishing. But ultimately, we still ended up catching a pile of pike. And most people would probably be very, very happy with that, but we're a little bit spoiled, if you will. We fish out of a place called Pasha Lake Cabins, and Lake Nipigon has been very good to us in the past years. And we know it has tremendous big pike. In this trip, we actually saw the big pike and couldn't catch them. And that was the disappointing thing.
Huh?
Yeah, about the same size.
Yeah.
It's a decent fish, just not super big here yet. He gave you a good boil though.
Hey, he did.
You know,
Nice
back
fish.
home.
It's a good start.
Yeah, back home that'd
that's
be a great fish. Everybody at home
Yeah.
would be all excited about that.
That's a tank back at home.
Yeah.
There you go, buddy. Chomped on that eel.
That's good. I like to see that.
That's very good. Came right out, boiled right from underneath the reeds there, and it's always exciting. Let's go get another one.
Additional considerations provided by Argo Amphibious ATV Extreme Terrain Vehicle Solutions. Additional considerations provided by Ontario's Algoma Country, That Real.
Maybe it was.
Too much grass in there for that?
Well, this one's got that exposed hook on it, so.
Yeah.
Oh, missed him. And I know what you're thinking. Why couldn't we catch him? Why could we physically see the fish and not get him to bite? And there was a couple of factors, but the primary factor was the fish were in so shallow water. They were actually in water about this deep, cattails that were growing dead, and then they tipped over from the winter, and they were tucked right up underneath the cattails. And we could see the fish. You could see their head, or you could see part of their tail, or you could see part of the fish. But by the time you would spot the fish, you were so close to them that most of those fish would get spooked before you could ever get a lure to them. Plus, imagine trying to fish in a salad like that. Literally, a cattail mat bent over is where these fish were at, and that's what we were trying to drag them out of. Look at him, he's taking you where he wants to go.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's not anywhere ready. I'm not
No.
going to touch him just yet, but that's exactly what we're looking for.
That's a good fish. That's a good fish.
We'll let him tire out just a little bit. One of the things that's important to note, I think, here is that we're hand landing these fish. You're not going to see a landing net today, unless we absolutely need to, because the pike are delicate. They're much better if you can hand land them, and in doing so, it's safer for the fish. But there's a skill to it. This one's not too super big, so I think I can get my hands around him. What I'm going to do is grab the leader, get my hand right around his back like that, to paralyze him so he can't move. Get my hand inside the gill, between the gill rakers, and there's your fish, Brian.
That's a dandy.
Look at that.
That's a dandy.
Very nice. Now, I tell you what, that's exactly what we're looking for, only even a little bit bigger yet. But who wouldn't be happy to catch a bunch of those?
I'll tell you what, I'd love nothing more than to be able to catch 12 or 15 of those things today, man.
Well, I think that is the
pretty
goal.
amazing.
That is the goal. So
Very cool.
we can drop him on the tape real quick and see, but I'm going to guess this one's mid-30s.
Yep.
And just a nice start.
Yep.
Really,
Solid
really nice
fish.
start. So, and he ate that old swim bait really good. That's a Savage Gear 4-play. No, it's not all negative because we were able to catch a lot of pike and some decent pike, some fish up to that 35, 38 inch range, which is really high quality fish, but none of the super tankers over 40 inches. And what made it tough for me personally is that we kept seeing big fish, but we weren't able to catch the big ones. We were able to catch the more aggressive, smaller ones. So, like I say, it's bittersweet, but the bottom line is most people probably would have been pretty tickled with what we caught. Hey, we're at a place called McIntyre Bay, and if you'd like to look at Lake Nipigon, you'll see it's one of the biggest bays in the entire lake, and it's huge. But we're not actually fishing in the bay, we're fishing in the creeks that pour into McIntyre Bay because it's early in the season and the water's still really cold. Out in McIntyre Bay, the water's only 44 degrees, and here it's closer to 60. So the warmer water is attracting the bait fish in here, attracting the pike, and the 411 crew. There you go.
Not quite as good as I thought on the original
That's pretty
swipe.
decent though.
Nice fish though.
And the cool thing is that he took it twice. And it's got some shoulders on it. That's actually a pretty decent fish.
He's not too bad. I'm afraid he's not done yet, but
A little worried about him being green, I hear. Oop,
I
there's
know.
I got a little one though. Mine come off. Thank goodness, because mine was very small compared to yours. What'd you say about him maybe being green?
I just made the comment too, didn't I? Come on, big boy. All right, now we got you. Still eating that foreplay. They're liking it. Time to go back. And goodbye, thank you. All right.
Additional considerations provided by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate. Fishing 411 is also brought to you by Okuma, High Performance, and Mustang Survival. We save lives for a living.
Now that's an awesome walleye. I tell you what, early in the season and late in the season when you're targeting walleyes, particularly with things like crankbaits, you gotta go slow. And more importantly, you have to dial in your speed very precisely. How precisely? I'm interested in getting my speed dialed down to 1/10 of a mile an hour. Today we're catching our fish at about 1.4 miles per hour. So an autopilot style electric motor is the best way to control your speed very precisely. Here on my boat, I've got an XI5, it's made by Motor Guide. It's a state-of-the-art electric motor. Not only is it an autopilot, but it allows me to set up a track and duplicate that track. So once we catch fish like this and save a waypoint, I can go back over that spot again and again and again.
Another little one?
I cannot tell just yet. Oh, he just come off. No, he just come towards me. Holy smokes. Yeah, that's a pretty decent fish, Brian. I think
Yeah?
all of a sudden here he was running right at me and it was hard for me to judge.
He grew up a little bit, huh?
Oh, no, he's not as big as even the last one. So he just fooled me. He just had a lot of giddy up. He just had a lot of giddy up. That, he shook right off at boat side, which is even better. That's the nice thing. One of the things you need to mention about Nipigon is that there's special gear restrictions here. And what I mean by that is that it's a barbless hook area. And for barbless hooks, it doesn't have to be an actual barb free hook. You just take a pair of pliers and you can pinch down the barb and make any hook legal. So we're pinching down the barbs on these. It makes it a little easier to get the fish unhooked as well. And it's a lot less damage to the fish itself. So helps us get the fish back without harming them. And then the other thing is you have to understand is certain lures are not practical here. Like crankbaits that have multiple hooks on them, they're not allowed. If you fish a crankbait that has 2 or 3 hooks, you have to remove all but 1 hook. Now a treble hook is considered 1 hook. So a traditional crankbait with 2 treble hooks, you have to remove one of them in order to make it legal here for pike fishing. So it's unique. The special regulations are part of what keeps this fishery as good as it is. And so definitely you need to know about the special regulations when you come up here.
35.
Salad fish.
Not too bad.
Salad fish.
Not too bad at all. All right, girly. Let's get you back in. And there she goes. Very.
Got him. Yeah, I got him, all right.
Oh my goodness.
That is so cool. That is so cool. That's a good one there. No, Austin. Little guy. Now that's drama. That don't get you excited. Look at that. Come on, baby. Come on. No, it's good. No, I seen that. I seen that. I'm not going there. Now that's close up. That's about as close a look as you're going to get at a northern pike.
Additional considerations provided by Striker Brands. Give Mother Nature the cold shoulder. And Bait Rigs Tackle, America's innovator of fine fishing products. Fishing 411 is also brought to you by Fishhawk Electronics, featuring Fishhawk's Catch Fish Guarantee.
You know, we talked briefly about it, but really we need to emphasize even more the tackle that we're using makes all the difference. You know, 65-pound test braid, 80-pound test fluorocarbon at the terminal end. That might sound like excessively heavy gear for pike fishing. It's not. When they get down in these lily pads, when they get down in these cattails and this bulrush, you got to have muscle to get them out of there. You're either going to be able to fight them out or they're going to break you off. It's that simple. So go heavy on the tackle, and I think you'll find that you'll be much more effective. The number one thing I notice that people come north to go pike fishing, they come with the wrong types of rods and reels. They don't have heavy enough gear to get the job done. Go heavy or go home. One of the other things that you can keep in mind if you come to Pasture Lake Cabins and you fish the Lake Nipigon region, there's more than just pike, obviously. It's a world-class brook trout fishery. We did a day trip to the Nipigon River to fish for some big brook trout. And as a matter of fact, Bryan caught a magnificent brook trout, one of the biggest I've ever seen, and certainly his personal best. So there's an opportunity to get brook trout, to get northern pike, so there's a mixed bag going on here. Of the soft plastics that we're using to catch the pike, the ones that seem to work for the best for us, so we had 3 different ones. One was made by Savage Gear. It was called an eel. They came in 2 different sizes. The smaller size was a little better for us. The second one was something also made by Savage Gear called the foreplay, the soft foreplay, and they're more minnow-shaped and wider. And they came in big sizes and small sizes. The medium sizes seem to be the best for us, so about a 5 inches working in there for us as well. And the third plastic that worked pretty good for us was just a paddle tail made by Vicious, and those worked pretty good, and those were about 5 inches. So overall, I would say our best plastic size was between 5 and 7 inches seemed to work out the best for us.
Very cool.
Just a decent fish, not a gigantic fish, but man, did they pull. Just, they are full of it. They are full of it. Another good reason why you gotta have some decent bait casting tackle to do this. This is definitely not a job for spinning gear, that is for sure. Oh. And those single hooks, that's the way to get these fish unhooked. Back to the water, quick. One of the other refinements of this that you might want to keep in mind is that it's important to match the size of the plastic to the fish you're catching. And right now we're getting a lot of 5 to 10 pound fish. And so the great big giant soft plastics that we brought up here in hopes of catching, 20 pound plus fish, they're too big. They're just simply too big, and we're getting fish to bite, but we're missing fish on those big plastics. And so by downsizing the plastic, we're getting far more bites and turning this into a really enjoyable day of fishing for you when it's time. You've been nice to land some for me here lately.
That was
cool. That was cool.
He was just kind of swimming right at the boat. And...
The old big old white mouth opened up and all of a sudden I watched your plastic bait just disappear.
That's pretty cool.
It was gone just like that. Well, come on, little girl. I'm back around over here. Let's see if I can, whoa, twisting, turning, going every which way. Can I let him go for you?
Hey, you absolutely.
All right.
Get him back in there.
We'll give him a quick one. Zoom, like a rocket.
See you later, buddy.
Like a rocket.
Well, sight fishing these fish, you really need to have something good on your face to be able to look down into the water. My preference is Costa Del Mar sunglasses. I like the 580 glass lens myself. And for my eye color, it tends to be an amber color that shows up very, very well and lets the stuff on the bottom pop. Usual retail price on a very good pair of sunglasses is around $200, but it's money well spent.
And I couldn't agree more with what Brian's saying on sunglasses. There's another whole factor, safety. I can't tell you how many times a day we've set the hook on fish and missed them, and our hooks are flying straight at us at 90 miles an hour. I mean, you want something to protect your face. You need sunglasses, regardless of whether it's sunny or not, if you're doing this style of fishing.
That's a better fish.
Oh, that's a good fish. We've got 10 pounds of fish and 20 pounds of cattails here. You can't even see me, he's so bundled up in the bushes. Oh, he's a thick fish. That is a good looking fish right there.
You got him?
Oh,
Yeah, that's pretty.
look at that salad.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
I've said it before, but that's a mark of a good pike. When you can't hardly get your hand around it, that's a mark of a good pike.
Yeah.
Yeah. When a man can't hardly grab them sideways, there you got a decent fish there.
It's a dandy.
Let me get some of that grass off there. Look at that, that's just terrible. That's what I'm talking about, a really nice northern pike, Lake Nipigon style. Hey, my name is Mark Romanack. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. If you get a chance to fish pike in the salad, I think you're gonna find it's a very exciting way. See fish, catch fish, it's a riot. We'll see you here same time, same place next week.
Closed captioning is provided by Orca Coolers, built for everyday use and total abuse. Fishing 411 is brought to you by Offshore Tackle, your leader in trolling technology. Jay's Sporting Goods, trust in the tradition. Yakima Bait, home of the rooster tail. Cisco Fishing Systems, fish the finest. Northwest Ontario Tourism Association, there's no place like this. Starcraft Marine, America's oldest aluminum fishing boat line. Evinrude Outboards, introducing the all-new Evinrude E-Tech G2, the outboard of the future, available today. Maxima Fishing Lines, the right line every time.
Now that's close up. That's about as close a look as you're going to get at a northern pike.